Okay, so the Provincial Courts of Canada. What are they? To figure out the what, I think it's important to first add up the where, who, why, and how. So, to begin, where in the world are the Provincial Courts of Canada? Every province has some sort of provincial court, many having more than one location. For example, the Quebec Provincial Courts are located all throughout the province, made up of 10 regions. Each one is taken care of by a coordinating judge, which leads me into who. In order to become a member of the provincial courts, one must be appointed by the provincial or territorial government, who, coincidentally, they are also paid by. For its daily functions, the courts rely on 10 coordinating judges and 12 associate coordinating judges. The Court of Quebec as a whole, however, is made up of 306 judges, including Chief Judge, Senior Associate Chief Judge, and 4 Associate Chief Judges, who all play a vital role in the court's operation. The Chief Judge, Lucy Rondeau, is in charge of court management, and has the responsibility of ensuring conformity to the Judicial Code of Ethics. Our Senior Associate Chief Judge, Scott Hughes, helps and advises the Chief Judge in performing all of her responsibilities. Finally, our 4 Associate Chief Judges also assist the Chief Judge, however, in relation to their specific divisions. Henry Richard, Assistant Chief Judge for Civil Division, Robert Prue, Youth Division, Danielle Cote, Criminal Division, and Claudie Belanger, Municipal Courts. The 3 positions I just mentioned, Chief Judge, Senior Associate Chief Judge, Associate Chief Judge, have a term of 7 years, and this may not be renewed. The Associate Judges and Associate Coordinating Judges, on the other hand, have a term of service of 3 years, and this position may be renewed. How did this type of provincial court come to be? On August 31st, 1988, the Act to Alter the Courts of Justice Act came into action. Because of this, the Court of Sessions of the Peace, responsible for criminal law, the previous Provincial Court responsible for civil law, and the Youth Court responsible for youth law were combined. The modifications simplified the system and at the same time made it more effective. So, how do these programs perform their duties? What is it that they deal with? The provincial courts deal with the minor criminal offenses, family law matters, such as child support and adoption, but never dealing with divorce, young individuals in conflict with the law, ranging from 12 to 17, traffic law violations, small claims, civil cases that resolve private disputes involving limited sums of money, which in Quebec has a maximum of $15,000. All preliminary inquiries are also dealt with here to figure out whether there is enough evidence or not to justify a full trial. The provincial court also deals with provincial regulatory offenses, which are also known as public welfare offenses. Regulatory offenses can be broken down into 3 categories. Mens rea offenses are done intentionally, knowingly, and the individual was simply being reckless. This must be proved by the prosecution. Strict liability offenses are where mens rea does not have to be proven, or having to be in the mental state to commit a crime. So, in other words, even if you never had the intention of breaking the law, you are still guilty of the crime, accidental crime, so to speak. And finally, absolute liability describes an offense where mens rea again does not have to be proven. This is a liability without fault, but still no excuse for it. The person is guilty on their act even if they thought they were doing no wrong. Negligence is irrelevant. The provincial court is essentially the lowest level of court. First, you have the Supreme Court, the Provincial Courts of Appeal, the Provincial/Territorial Superior Courts, and finally the Provincial Courts if you just close your eyes to the other branches, which are all visibly higher on the chain. Despite its low position on the chart, this court typically deals with small internal issues, and so the higher courts can spend the necessary time on more pressing matters. Alrighty, so what are provincial courts? Essentially, they are small courts which tend to the small internal issues within a province. Each court has a similar setup, however, provinces also have different majorities with differing opinions, and so it's important for courts to adjust to the needs of society. An example being how in Quebec, the courts must deal with French civil law and English criminal law, where other provinces simply deal with the English side of things. Society changes, therefore, so must the courts. This is important to our society because this allows for the higher courts to look at bigger issues with greater attention.